Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to paint you a picture of faith with my true colors. You see, I like good things. So much so it's probably a bad thing. In fact, if they're still saying good things come to those who wait, I'm gonna be at least about an hour late, than black people late. But make no mistake, as junior year progressed, I began to believe that this phrase encouraging patience for good things wasn't as true as tacos on a Tuesday or yellow green for blue, but was instead as true as February 31st. See, my toil seemed futile and my patience ran out of patience. I worked and waited and waited and worked, but nothing worked, so I continued to wait. I waited, but unfortunately, like the idea of a Jesus without melanin or like an aux cord to a USB port, my beard just would not and could not connect. From my sideburns streaming all the way down to the chin on my left side to the sideburns streaming all the way down to the chin on my right side, my beard ran smooth yet coarse like the plains of the Kenyan savannah. And as these kinky curls stream down my jawline on a collision course to connection, they get ready to merge when a bold emptiness intercepts right in the middle, blocking their reach. Absolute chaos. Picture me standing there, brave, with only sideburns and a goatee around the side of my bed and absolutely nothing in the middle. There I am, standing brave, but still with hair only on the sides of my face like an African Wolverine, except I didn't have the claws to claw myself out of this one. In addition to the fact that my beard had a gaping passage, a vacuum of void in the middle, my beard was surprisingly also comprised of different hair textures. For example, from my chin to my lower cheek cup, my beard was made of a very coarse and coily concoction of 4C hair texture. And the hair above was made of a slightly straighter and looser hair pattern. Now these two hair textures, one coily below and one straight above, refused to assemble into one unit of aesthetic African decadence. Instead, my patchy, near purposeless, Wolverine-based beard stood tall, but was left lurking in the shadows of independence and unity, much like a colonized nation in the motherland, submerged in whiteness, but melanizing methodically in the shade nonetheless. I digress. I was waiting for a connecting beard. I was waiting for a good thing. But I thought to myself, man, maybe this patchy, disconnected beard is my portion of this short life. Maybe my beard just doesn't know who to represent. Maybe my beard just doesn't know which man to become. Maybe my beard was patchy with different hair textures because I grew up in 3 different countries, but lived in the country of my parents for only 3. Maybe, just maybe, my coarse Nubian curls below refused to assemble with the straight hair above because my maternal ancestors were still grieving the European soldiers who forced themselves onto their young bodies when they first arrived onto the motherland. Maybe, and only just maybe, the gaping passage of emptiness in the middle of my chin would close and fill like the Red Sea as Moses claims Israel over Egypt and Anesu learns to speak Shona better than he does English. Maybe. But then I thought to myself, maybe good things could come to those who wait. Maybe I could shave off my entire beard of 2 years to begin a wholesome new growth of connection. You see, like Ali with Mike Tyson or Aretha Franklin with Whitney Houston, greatness almost always begins with an example. Thankfully, I had a lot of black brothers to look up to. But to keep 100% light-skinned with you, bro, I imagine myself a stubbornly sturdy and suave John Legend with a fully connecting beard resting on dark olive skin, except I'd be 6'3", but only with my Timberlands on, of course. Now, this vision of an Anesu with a John Legend beard lasted as long as Anesu tried to sound like John Legend in the mirror too. So in other words, it was a very short vision. And this is when I learned that my only true power came when I began to visualize myself, Anesu, Donovan Mujenge with this connecting beard. But like I said, I like good things. So I let my brother Daniel shave off my entire beard of 2 years to maximize my light skin capabilities. That's right, all of it gone. And with that, due to time constraints, I think it would be conducive if we skipped over the descriptions of what I look like after the shave, without a beard. And fast forward a few months on when my beard began making more connections than your LinkedIn after a conference. You see, even the gaping passage of emptiness began to fill and close with brute ebony hair. I was no James Harden, but the loose curls above began to harden with a volume that allowed them to connect fully. It was poetry. It was full, there was closure. Still, though, I assert that my patchy, disconnected beard was gorgeous in its time. Not perfect, but progressing nonetheless. Slow, but striving still. Tired, but trotting on regardless. You see, this beard embodies generations of genetics with codes written from colonization to globalization and beyond, eager to grow and reconcile pain with promise and future with family. And if blue gets to connote sadness, I had decided that melanin was going to connote hope and faith. Because even with my disconnected beard, I dared to drip melanin all across campus, holding firm and faith to the vision of a connecting beard, and in the process, making a melanin mess of ebony pride, which even Custodio chose not to mop away. With that, as I maximize my light skin capabilities and continue to morph into John Legend 2.0, I encourage all my brothers out there to embrace your beards, or even the lack thereof, just as long as you're painting a picture of faith with your true colors. Thank you.